the world watches as the fate of Ukraine hangs in the balance. With tensions rising, Western leaders face a choice that could alter the course of history. Will they step up and deliver the decisive support Ukraine needs? Or will the war's ripple effects reach further than anyone anticipated, threatening the stability of Europe itself? In the midst of a world divided by conflict and uncertainty, the fate of Ukraine hangs precariously in the balance. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy's leadership is under intense scrutiny, as Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, seems to have the upper hand. As the war wages on, where does this leave Europe? What does the future hold for Ukraine, and how will the West respond? The anticipation over the imminent delivery of Western-made F-16 fighter jets grows with each passing day. But this isn't just about supporting President Zelenskyy, it's a delicate balancing act between backing Ukraine's fight for sovereignty and avoiding the ire of a leader as unpredictable as former President Donald Trump. The efforts to end the war between Russia and Ukraine have dominated the headlines, with the United States and the European Union leading the charge to find a way out of this seemingly endless conflict. As global powers deliberate on how to proceed, one thing is clear: Europe is deeply concerned about the future. The European Union knows that the threat of Russian aggression doesn't end with Ukraine. EU officials are already preparing for the possibility that Russia may turn its focus elsewhere, toward Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, and other vital Baltic countries. On the Western Front, countries like the United Kingdom and France are keenly aware of the gravity of the situation, but the question remains: how can Europe protect itself? How can it safeguard Ukraine, bolster its defenses, and prevent the spread of Russian influence across the continent? Two options stand at the forefront of European security planning: deploying troops to Ukraine or setting up an air policing mission over Ukrainian skies. But before we explore these strategies, we ask you to do one simple thing: subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and give us a like. It's completely free, and it ensures that you stay up to date with all our future content. Let's begin with the first option on the table: sending troops. In the early days of the war, countries like the United Kingdom and France considered this as a viable solution. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy himself proposed a future peacekeeping force to assist in post-conflict reconstruction, estimating that a force of up to 110,000 foreign troops would be required, with potentially 3 times that number for rotational deployments. Now Europe is considering deploying anywhere between 25,000 and 30,000 peacekeeping troops after a potential ceasefire. This option remains complex, fraught with logistical and geopolitical concerns. However, it has not been entirely ruled out. The second option, perhaps more strategically viable, revolves around the establishment of an air policing mission over Ukraine. Yes, you heard that right. An air mission to safeguard Ukrainian airspace from Russian fighter jets, missiles, drones, and bombs. Recently, the United Kingdom has put this issue at the forefront of European security discussions, and the proposed move could have far-reaching consequences for Russian President Vladimir Putin. In fact, the United Kingdom is reportedly preparing to send RAF Typhoon fighter jets as part of a future air policing mission over Ukraine. This proposal came just a day after European leaders gathered to discuss military options in Ukraine, including the possibility of sending troops to support a ceasefire agreement. The UK's defence officials believe that air policing could be a logical and effective response, but there are challenges. Air policing, especially over a vast territory like Ukraine, would require extensive coordination, logistics, and resources. The mission would not be feasible for the Royal Air Force alone, and it is likely that other NATO members would have to join forces to patrol Ukrainian skies. Policing such a large airspace would be a monumental task. Air experts agree that even a minimal combat air patrol of just 2 aircraft would require nearly an entire fleet of jets, support crews, and equipment to be sustainable in the long term. In the worst-case scenario, the entire assets of the RAF could be needed in Ukraine to patrol the skies. But what if the RAF Typhoons were joined by more advanced fighter jets? France, for instance, has pledged to send its own Mirage 2000 jets, and more recently, the highly anticipated F-16s, which could be integrated into a Western-style air defense system. These jets would significantly bolster Ukraine's capacity to monitor and control its airspace, making it a more formidable force capable of defending itself even in peacetime. Yet even with these advanced aircraft, the air policing mission would face considerable challenges. What would happen if Russia decided to test these defenses? How would Ukrainian and Russian ground forces be kept at a safe distance from the borderline? These questions are now being asked more urgently than ever. Experts believe that in the future, the air policing mission will likely expand, particularly as Ukraine reclaims more of its sovereign territory from Russian control. It would not be just about keeping Russian fighter jets at bay, it would be about ensuring the safety of Ukraine's land and air borders in the face of an increasingly hostile Russia. In such a scenario, Ukrainian and NATO air forces would track both aerial threats and ground movements. These operations would require cutting-edge surveillance technology, such as airborne early warning systems that could detect enemy aircraft from long distances. The UK's proposal to establish a robust air policing mission in Ukraine is a clear message to Moscow. Any further aggression will not be tolerated. One crucial ally in this mission is Poland, which has already stepped up to protect Ukrainian sovereignty. In response to Russia's bombing attacks, the Polish Air Force has deployed F-16 fighter jets, ensuring that Ukraine's skies are not left vulnerable. This move was confirmed by Poland's military officials, who stand ready to protect not only Ukraine but their own borders as well. Poland's strategic role in this conflict is clear. As a NATO member, it has committed significant resources to supporting Ukraine and ensuring regional security. Romania, too, is on high alert. With its airspace directly threatened by Russian drones, Romania's Air Force has scrambled F-16 aircraft several times, ensuring its borders remain secure. The proximity of Romania to the conflict means it, too, must remain vigilant against Russian air incursions, especially in the Black Sea region. But it's not just about air defense. NATO's efforts to bolster Europe's defense capabilities are also crucial on the ground. A major step in this direction is the ongoing construction of NATO's largest military base in Poland. This state-of-the-art facility, designed to house armored combat brigades, will significantly enhance NATO's ability to deploy forces quickly in the event of a crisis. Scheduled for full operational status by 2025, the base will house a pre-positioned stockpile of military equipment, including battle tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, and ammunition. This infrastructure will allow NATO to mobilize forces with unprecedented speed, reducing deployment timelines from 60 days to just 7. The investment of over $360 million in this facility demonstrates NATO's commitment to ensuring that its forces are always ready to respond. With this base, alongside the United Kingdom's proposed air policing initiative and the support of countries like Poland and Romania, Europe is building a formidable defense against Russian aggression. As NATO strengthens its presence in the region, the balance of power begins to shift, sending a clear message to the Kremlin: the security of Europe, including Ukraine, is non-negotiable. The United Kingdom's push for an air policing mission in Ukraine, the readiness of Poland and Romania to defend Ukraine's skies, and NATO's strategic investments are key elements in preventing the escalation of the war into Europe's heartland. Together, these efforts create a buffer zone that will isolate the conflict and limit the reach of Russian forces. In the years to come, Europe may look back at this moment as the turning point. The establishment of an air policing system in Ukraine, along with NATO's enhanced presence on its eastern flank, could be the key to deterring further aggression. As the European Union, the United Kingdom, and NATO unite their efforts, they send a powerful message. The protection of Ukraine is not just a matter of regional stability, it's a matter of ensuring the security of Europe for generations to come. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and together, we can work toward a future of peace and security.